Hello, beautiful people. I want to thank you for coming back. In case this is your first time checking out this channel, my name is Jin, and you have stumbled upon Chin Up Mindset. With this channel, we have one mission, and that is to encourage growth. And we are going to do that together by taking on different challenges and talking about different inspirational topics. So jumping right into today's episode, if we are able to get past our first world problems and take a look at things potentially in a different way, it's pretty clear to see that majority of us have it pretty flippin' good. If your response to that is, shut up, Jen, you don't know me, you don't know what I'm going through, blah, 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 let me prove you wrong, okay? So what is one thing that farmers in India, transporters in Spain, sailors across the Atlantic, and factory workers in Washington all have in common? If you answered Kirkland nut bars, then you were correct. Okay, granted, I know that this is gonna look awful for the zero waste challenge, but I'm only human, man. Those things are so delicious, but I am already aware nut bars and protein bars are my two real pitfalls at the moment. So I do have plans to start making my own, and glad you asked. There actually will be videos throughout the year on that topic. So for right now, we can just practice the art of non-judgment and call it a day, huh? Moving forward. So let's be 100% honest here. How often do you look at your food and try to follow the complete process of what it went through to get to your plate? If you're a normal human being, the answer is probably not very often. I don't know who actually does that. There are actually a few of us. And not to drop this bomb, but I'm going to drop this bomb. If your plate is full of meat, then it's like doubly, if not just infinitely, more important to follow that trail to assure that you're supporting the correct types of farms, not only for the animals, but just as importantly for the environment. So I am by no means saying don't eat meat. I don't care what you put in your body, but I am kindly suggesting that you research where it comes from just to know that it's a sustainable practice. So let's catch that boomerang and get back to this. There is an incredible book that I actually haven't read, but I love the concept of it so much that I refuse to believe that it isn't awesome. It's called Thanks 1,000. And if anybody has actually read this book, please leave a comment. Let us know if it is as good as I'm assuming it is off of the Cliff Notes and author interviews. In this book, the author goes on what he calls a gratitude journey to thank everybody who was involved in making his morning cup of coffee possible, which, as the title implies, ended up being over 1,000 people. Take a second to think about that. This guy actually followed a trail of people which took him around the world and thanked them for something that they probably didn't even know they had a part in. Okay, from people who lay the asphalt to farmers and artists. I think even the Pope ended up making that list. Here we have somebody going so far out of their way to thank these people. Then here we are struggling to even put our phone down and ask our cashier how their day is going while we're being checked out at the grocery store. But there are millions of things happening all around us every second. Yet somehow we have mastered being completely submerged in ourselves. We sometimes have a hard time taking a step back and then just being thankful for the fact that you wanted to take a step in a direction and your brain and body somehow made it happen. It's a weird concept, but not everybody's body actually works in that manner. Take a look at people who suffer from proprioception disorder. I believe that's how that's pronounced. There have been instances like where people got into accidents and had a brain injury, and then all of a sudden didn't have control over their body. They couldn't have that thought and execute. Could you imagine having to actually be fully conscious in order to put one foot in front of the other? Okay, and then if you get distracted, you would fall flat on your face because your brain isn't able to regulate and rebalance your body or do anything for that matter without complete concentration on just one task. Doing multiple tasks at once would be legitimately impossible. And then what we assumed to be one quick, suave save was actually trillions of neurons firing frantically inside your brain to initiate multiple processes that we probably wouldn't even be able to comprehend, all that resulted in you staying upright. Man, if that concept doesn't get your head tingling, you're more than likely watching the wrong video. Obviously, that case was a very severe incident, and luckily for most of us, that isn't an issue and our bodies are functioning properly. So maybe we should be working to appreciate these seemingly invisible processes as if we're going to lose them tomorrow, opposed to not even paying them any attention unless it's because we're missing them. And I'm not just talking about bodily functions here. I know I kind of went down the rabbit hole a little bit with that example, but that stuff just fascinates me. But I'm actually talking about everything from bodily processes to turning on a faucet and having water come out, to the abundant food and clothing selection that we have at our disposal anytime we want. Literally, the list is infinite. Mostly everything that we do or that we have access to has started as something small and went through a process that we may never know the extent of in order to work for us. So it's important for us to not take things for granted, especially not to the extent that we currently do. There's a science behind gratitude, and it's shown to be one of the most powerful tools in attracting positive people, interactions, experiences, whatever. But you have to think about it. Like, if you aren't able to be grateful for everything that you have right now, what really makes you feel like you deserve more? Right? All it takes is 1 second of being fully present and aware to show gratitude for something. Like the fact that I have this computer and there's internet, so I'm able to shower you all with my opinions. I think that's pretty awesome. But it's something that's so easily taken for granted. We don't see everything that's going on to make this interaction possible. Doesn't mean that it's not happening. It's just happening so well, for some of us, that we don't even notice. So next time your deli order gets missed and your food takes a little while longer to come out, or you have to be inconvenienced to go to the store because you ripped your jeans, maybe try to just be thankful that you have that convenience to literally walk into a store and get what you need. That is a convenience that not everybody has. So if I haven't proved you wrong about you having a good life yet, let me know and we'll talk. Let's wrap this up. I want to thank you all again for spending your time with me. I am well aware that it's one of the most important things to efficiently allocate, and I'm truly thankful that you felt this was a good way to occupy it. And if you're feeling wild and want to let us know what you're grateful for in the comments, I would love to read them. And then finally, if you've enjoyed this content and don't want to miss any more, subscribe, hit the notifications so that you get alerts for future content. Until next time, keep nourishing that mind.